All My Eye, or The Trial of the Animals. One of the party is to perform the character of Mercury. The others are each to assume the name of some action. Mercury then proceeds to demand with what kind of food they nourish themselves. They must successively respond, observing that they must be such meats as are suitable to their natures. Mercury harangues them to the following effect. O ye great beasts, attend to Mercury, lend him your ears, not to be pulled, not to be made into velvet but to have poured into them a mandate which I bring from Jupiter, your master and my own. He has deputed me to judge your actions. There are some amongst you to whom permission has been granted to subsist on flesh, but not to eat it to excess. Now many of you have disobeyed this order. Nay, most of you have eaten eyes, in defiance of this prohibition. Come, be candid, confess your faults. Perhaps you may be able to exculpate yourselves by some available excuse. Our sovereign is possessed of clemency, nor shall you find me needlessly severe when you can be spared consistently with equity. But do not attempt to deceive me, for that will be impossible, and only prove an aggravation of your crime. Good Mr. Fox, I shall begin with you. Prithee, let us hear what you have been in the habit of eating. Fox, why, if compelled to own the whole of my roguish tricks, I must confess that I have gobbled up many a goose, many a turkey, many a quail, many a partridge. Mercury, I claim 2 fines, one for quail and one for partridge. But as you are famed far and near for achieving strange adventures, I must request a farther account of your queer doings. Fox, I shall not boast much about selecting the plumpest fowls in the hen roost, of helping gardeners to gather grapes, or making a self-conceited crow part with a good lump of cheese for a mere song. That's not worth crowing about. But what we foxes are most proud of is our good nature in saving lapwings the trouble of hatching their eggs. Mercury, pay for the lapwings. And you, Mr. Bulldog, what sort of meals do you make? Bulldog, liver and lights, tripes and trilibubs. Mercury, oh, you greedy dog, pay 4. I have you on every article. Bulldog, what would you say if I told you that one afternoon, when dreadfully hungry, I devoured a camel, a dromedary, a buffalo, an elephant, 2 elks, a moose deer, and an ibex? Mercury, you must pay for the last. It is an instance of sheer gluttony. You had quite enough for dinner without the ibex. And you, my pretty Miss Lamb, what did you eat? Lamb, grass on the mount, and cresses near the fount, and plenty of clover, the meadows all over. Mercury, sweet innocent, you never eat a wolf, I'll warrant me. Lamb, no, truly, but once I nibbled the top of a Norfolk turnip. Mercury, indeed. Well, you must pay for nibbling the turnip. I can't overlook a crime like that, although for gobbling up a wolf or 2 I might have pardoned you. And you, Mrs. Cow, what have you eaten? Cow, an abundance of fodder, beans, rape, kale, hay, straw, grass, vetches, potatoes, both roasted and raw, lots of lucerne, green leeks, mangel, wurzel, and beet, and all butchers deemed good for oxen to eat. Mercury, I'll warrant me the youngest drummer in the Russian army eats twice as many mold candles for dinner as you would, notwithstanding all the tallow you have hoarded on your caul and kidneys. Cow, 2 faults ought to be brought to account, such as an acre of superb wheat your humble servant ate up the very day my master meant to commence harvest. The other was the matter of an afternoon's promenade about old Madame Van Bloom's flower garden. Fancy to yourself some 20 bell glasses crushed to atoms, and 4 dozen large red earthen pots ground to powder, proper to rub on rusty grates, blunt choppers, carvers' forks, and sundry edge tools of that sort. Mercury, far be it from me to censure such matters. Mrs. Cow, I must pronounce you wholly free from blame. And you, my buck, what have you eaten? Buck, sweet hawthorn, sharp buckthorn, moss and fungus galore. More barks, too, than ever the sea's waves proudly bore. Young branches of alders, beech, poplars, and such wood. But your deer are too sage to eat chaff or touch wood. Mercury, Or plant a clove of their hoof on the cord of a poacher's spring gun, I suppose. Buck. Each wary roebuck shuns the poacher's gin. Mercury. Pay for the gin, my buck, for in that I catch you. At this game, the names of birds, fishes, and insects may be assumed. Sorry. To avoid prolixity, I have given only 5 specimens with quadrupeds. Although a few rhymes have been here introduced, they need not be used when every time the letter I is used in describing the article fed on, a forfeit is incurred. The names of various animals may be written on slips of paper, and each person draw one from a hat. This game is extremely interesting when played by witty persons. It may be varied by substituting B's, I's, P's, and U's, which sound like B's, I's, P's, and U's. Observe that each animal is to respond twice. More questions may be added if the company is not large, but if there are many, it might become tediously long. Even one response may be found enough should there be more than 12 players.